Yasharahla lighting up the night. Vigilant watchman never snoring off the grind. Eyes on the news, peeping all the signs. Current affair, yeah, with Big A. Wake up, tap in, Big A back in. Headlines, hard facts, cut through the spin. From the block to the globe, truth in every quote. On the line, gotta let the people know. Current affairs with Big A, say what they won't say. Hey, real talk right now, every day turn it up, Tom, that best day. Current affairs with Big A, breaking through the haze. If it matters, it's on today. Current affairs with Big A, Big A, Big A, Big A,
Big A. What's up, family? How y'all doing? How you doing this morning, this evening, this afternoon? Whenever you can hear my voice, see my beautiful mug. It is a pleasure once again to be on this platform. Always, family. It's always a pleasure to tune in to you so you can hear things that I am going to be speaking of, things you might have heard already, or things you might have not. News you can use or not. So I want to thank you all for being with me here. Shalom, Rich. How you doing? Shalom. Being with me here on Current Affairs with your boy Big A, Aharon Yasharahla. Again, it is a pleasure and all praises to the Most High. Let's begin. Now, y'all know I always start off with a saying of the day. And this one, family, just quite simple. I kept it simple because it's a lot that has transpired today, not just for myself, but for everyone. And this can probably help people. So the saying of the day this evening, family, is sit and be patient. Wait on the Most High. Sit and be patient, family, and wait on the Most High. That is the saying of the day for this evening. Sit and be patient. Wait on the Most High. Because isn't that what they tell us? When it's something that we want the Most High to help us with, that we're going through, sit and be patient. Have faith. Sit and be patient and wait on the Most High is the saying of the day. Now, jumping right into the broadcast, family. I don't like to start off on a sad note, but I do have to give shout out and RIP to Miss Khadija Farrakhan. RIP to Miss Khadija Farrakhan. Now, you may recognize the last name, Farrakhan, as in Louis Farrakhan. Khadija Farrakhan was the wife of Minister Louis Farrakhan. Shalom, family, how y'all doing? Khadija Farrakhan was the wife of Mr. Louis Farrakhan, who is, as we know, is the head of the Nation of Islam, right? She was the first lady of the Nation of Islam, being the wife of Louis Farrakhan, and she died, or she passed at 90 years old. And get this, family, they were married for 72 years. Can you imagine being married for 72 years? That's one's entire life. Because men will live to be, 80, 90 years old? 90s if we're lucky, 100s if we're extraordinarily lucky. But RIP to Miss Khadija Farrakhan. And we can just imagine what she's seen throughout all those years being married to Mr. Louis Farrakhan. You know, although they were in the Nation of Islam, I'm sure she was a blessed woman. Just because a person is worshiping a different God doesn't mean they're still seeking the God, or even seeking Christ for that matter. Because I say that because even Mr. Farrakhan said that Christ is the Messiah. I mean, go figure. For a man of Nation of Islam would say that Christ is the Messiah when their God is Allah. That's just mind-blowing to me. But I digress. Again, IRP to Mrs. Khadija Farrakhan, the former wife of Mr. Louis Farrakhan, who left this earth at 90 years of age, about 7 days after her birthday. Okay, Now, I do have some things I want to bring out, family, that you know, some things are disturbing that I want to speak about this evening. And this first topic or second topic goes to a person who is named Carlene Noreus, Noreus, or Noreus. Noreus. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I hope I'm saying it right. Carlene Noreus. That's how I'll say it. Carlene Noreus. Now, Miss Carlene Noreus, if you never heard of her, I haven't heard of her until a few days ago. She's a very smart woman in a conniving way, in a deceitful way. But she was smart nonetheless to pull off what she pulled off. Carlene Noreus was a registered nurse and owner of 2 South Florida schools. The first school was called Carlene Home Health School Incorporated in Plantation, Florida. And the second was also called Carlene Home Health School II Incorporated, which was located in West Palm Beach, Florida. Now, great for her that she was able to open up a school for nursing. But the bad thing is that it was not legit. Let me expound upon what I mean by not being legit. Federal prosecutors, check this out, family. And I have to look at this, my notes. Federal prosecutors said that Miss Carlene Noreus sold nearly 3,000 fake nursing diplomas and transcripts between 2018 and 2025. So for 7 years, Miss Carlene Noreus sold fake nursing diplomas and transcripts, about 3,000 of them. And those fake credentials allowed many buyers, because these people had to buy these fake transcripts and diplomas. So those fake credentials allowed many buyers, family, to qualify and take what is called the NCLEX nursing licensing exam without completing the required education. How cold-blooded is that? You have this lady who had 2 schools in South Florida, one in West Palm Beach and the other in Plantation, Florida. And for 7 years running, she was able to have people buy these fake diplomas and credentials. And anytime you're going to be some kind of a doctor, I'm sure it is going to be a tough road, because anything that is worth attaining is not going to be easy to attain. However, in this situation, Miss Carlene allegedly made it easy. So she was actually selling fake credentials, diplomas and transcripts, so these people, men and women, could take it was actually basically just to take the licensing exam to be a nurse. Right? Now, check this out. About 2,300 of the recipients later obtained their nursing license after passing the exam. So now, just because one went and paid for the licensing and the diploma or the transcripts, right? They still have to have some kind of knowledge to pass the exam. You can't just pay for the diploma and transcripts, go take the exam, and then you're going to pass it. These people must have had to know something, right? You couldn't just go in there super stupid, right? That's what my good buddy says it. Now, Miss Carlene, she pleaded guilty in June of this year to conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Now, people just don't understand that the government treats stealing money or money fraud in any kind of way worse than unaliving a person. If you haven't figured that out yet, right? Don't pay your taxes, see what happens. Now, during those 7 years, family, Miss Carlene raked in. Now, she was doing the daggone thing. She raked in $25 million. Meaning, what that means, if you break it down, each person paid about $10,000 to $20,000 each for fake diplomas and or transcripts. You can't make this up. Now, what you're thinking is how. This is how I was thinking. How did she get caught? Well, Miss Carlene was caught through an ongoing investigation called Operation Nightingale. If you ever heard of that, I think I've heard of Operation Nightingale, but it didn't dawn on me until I started researching this topic now. And in that Operation Nightingale that the feds had going on in investigation, they found that some South Florida schools were selling diplomas and transcripts to people who had not completed the required classroom instruction nor the clinical training. So, whenever you're doing anything like that, it's kind of like construction. You're getting hands-on training, and you're also required to take classes. So she skipped all of that. She was like, okay, you want it? Come pay for this, woo, woo, woo. And you can go take that, and that'll qualify you for the exam. And that's all they did, right? Now, Carlene, she faces up to 40 years maximum for in prison, and she's going to be sentenced in September of this year. So this is actually fresh, although she started this in 2018 up to 2025. For 7 years, she raked in $25 million. Now, do you think she would have went to jail if she gave the government some of that money or paid taxes on some of that money? On $25 million? That's a lot of money to make in 7 years. That's some heavy money. She was doing it. Like the song goes, know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. She should have knew when to fold 'em. Let me tell you something. Yeah, Rich, that's crazy. If that was me, I'd have been scared. At the first million, I'd have had to shut it down. Maybe. I say maybe because money changes people. Money changes people. I don't care how you getting it. That's why people, when they go to the streets and sell drugs, they say, I'm going to do this for a short time, get this, and that money get good. They want more. They want more because the more currency you have, the more defense it is. The more you can buy things. The more you can, live the American dream. So Miss Carlene Nerose was having people buy these fake credentials, diplomas, and transcripts to be nurses, right? That's right. Can't mess with people's money. You're right, Rich. So she was having people buy these credentials so they can go and take the test to be a nurse. And about 2,300 people passed the test. I mean, hey, you can look it up because you can't make this up. It's almost like a movie script. You know what I mean? The school names, I'll repeat the school names again. There were 2 school names, right? And she named them after herself. The school names were called Carlene Home Health School Incorporated in Plantation. And the second one was called Carlene Home Health School, the second incorporated in West Palm Beach. One in West Palm Beach and another in Plantation, Florida. Right? So those were the school names. And this was recent. So if you know somebody who got caught up in the Matrix doing that, hey, you don't have anything Elandabar. You don't have anything tangible, right? I mean, we all want something easy, but you can't skate through life. You can't skate through things like that because people depend on nurses, man. We depend on doctors. Some of them, right? Especially if we've known them for years and they've been serving us for years. The Most High put doctors here. But you can't have corrupt stuff like this going on. Full of shenanigans. It just won't work. The truth shall set you free. Hey, the truth came out. Maybe she won't be free. She's about to get sentenced this September. Anyway, family. Moving along. Do y'all remember those old sitcoms we used to have, stuff like Martin, Girlfriends, Different World, uh, All in the Family. Well, let's go back. Y'all remember the Jeffersons? Y'all remember the Jeffersons? Hey, who don't remember the Jeffersons, unless you're in your 20s or something like that, but you're probably seeing reruns. But the Jeffersons are making a comeback. The Jeffersons are moving back, family. Check this out. Allegedly, a 10-episode pilot, however you want to say it, starring Mr. Anthony Anderson playing George and Miss Regina King playing Wheezy. Hey, listen, check this out. So potentially it's going to be airing this November. A remake, a reboot of the Jeffersons, y'all. We're moving on up. Hey, I cannot wait if this comes to reality. And they're going to do a 10-episode pilot to see how it goes. I wish them the best. Checked it, loved it. Right, we love the Jeffersons. That's right. Hey, Mrs. Russell, we love the Jeffersons. Hey, let me tell you this. Shalom, how you doing out there? Glad you come on in. If Mr. Anthony Anderson playing Mr. George, right? Playing him, if he can do that dance that George Jefferson did, it's gonna take off. It's gonna really take off. But check this out. Although you got Mr. Anthony Anderson and Miss Regina King playing the lead roles, right? Who would be the co-stars? Who would be the ones that play their counterparts? The one that played the white husband and the black wife. I can't think of their names. Who are the ones that would play? Who would play the bellhop that came up? Who would play the neighbor that came up with him? The little goofy neighbor. He was a cool dude. He was real goofy though. I can't think of their names, but who would be the co-stars? You need co-stars. Can't just have two people. But I'm so excited for the Jeffersons reboot here, allegedly and potentially in November of this year, starring Mr. Anthony Anderson playing George and Miss Regina King playing Wheezy. Hey, listen, going back to the good old days, man, when things was right. When you could walk down the street at night and nothing happened. When you can go and buy some real ice cream and not have an upset stomach, right? Where you could stay outside till the lights came on. Wouldn't have to run outside. Wouldn't have to run back in the house. Where you could trust the people who lived on your block. Where back then it took a community to raise a child. Those were the good old days, family. Remember that song? Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. That's what that makes me feel like. Hey. But hey, all kudos to all of them for making that pilot. And hopefully it comes to fruition, because I'm ready for some real people of color back on the scene. Oh, praises to the Most High, family. Hey, it's always a pleasure to be in front of y'all talking, you know what I'm saying? And just giving you some kind of information, some news that you can use or not. Now, this next article, family, that I'm going to speak about, I may make this into, all right, Carleen is spelled Carleen. Carleen. Oh, I got you, sis. I got you. Thank you for putting that up there. Oh yeah. You'll see it when it comes back. Especially like I said, if he can do that dance that Sherman Hemsley, George, that's the guy's name who played George. Sherman Hemsley did. Now, my next article, family, is titled "A Moment in Black history. A moment in Black history. And I'm bringing that up because when I found this next article, I may really start to bring these out each week, because being people of color, we need to know these things are the hidden truths about our ancestors. It could potentially be blood relatives. Who knows? So, a moment in Black history, family. Check this out. In the 1820s, a multimillionaire was hid from our history books. There was now we know, right? There have been a plethora of our ancestors that have been hidden from our history books. And it's a shame that now a lot of this is coming out. But why is it coming out? Because we're in the age of information, the technology era. As the Bible says, a boom of information that everyone will be privy to, right? A moment in Black history. In the 1820s, a multimillionaire, a person of color, was hid from our history books. In 1821, family, a Black tailor in New York City, named Thomas L. Jennings. Again, a Black tailor in New York City named Thomas L. Jennings invented dry scouring, the exact process that we call today dry cleaning. See how to change that? Dry scouring is now we know today dry cleaning, a process that Mr. Thomas L. Jennings invented in 1821. At that time, family, in the 1800s, at that time, under U.S. law, enslaved people could not own patents. No surprise there, right? At that time, under U.S. law, I'm going to repeat this again. I want to slow walk this. At that time, in 1821, family, enslaved people couldn't own their own patents. But because Jennings was born free, Thomas L. Jennings became the first Black person in history to legally secure a U.S. patent. Look at the Most High. Look at the Most High, right? At that time, family, there was still slavery, right? At that time, it was still slavery. He was born free, Mr. Thomas L. Jennings, and look at the Most High. Look at the power he possesses. He had a man who was born free, who was the first Black man in history to legally secure a U.S. patent. Now, with that said, Mr. Thomas L. Jennings' family didn't just build a fortune. He built a movement. Let me tell you what he did. Some things that he did. Mr. Thomas Jennings used his massive wealth, right, to buy his enslaved wife and children's freedom. Shalom, family. Welcome in. Jennings, right? Thomas L. Jennings, say his whole name. Thomas L. Jennings used his massive wealth, family, to buy his enslaved wife and his children's freedom. Remember, this man was born free, and he invented the process that we call dry cleaning, except then it was called dry scouring. He ended up being a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, and he bought his wife and his children out of slavery. Now, can you imagine the faces on those white folks, those white slave owners back then, allegedly, that he bought his wife and children's freedom from? Can you imagine that? Kind of reminds me of the Django for some reason. Reminds me of the Django, don't it? Coming and buying freedom. And I know whoever he bought his family from hated it, but they couldn't hate the money. Probably was a poor plantation. Couldn't hate the money, needed the money. Let them go, give us free, right? That's what happened. Now, Mr. Thomas L. Jennings, he then spent the rest of his millions, family, funding the abolitionist movement and the Underground Railroad. I mean, come on, y'all. Listen what this man did. Let me repeat that. He then spent the rest of his millions, family, funding the abolitionist movement and the Underground Railroad. I mean, the strides that our people have taken in all of these years, that man has been on the earth. I mean, it is just, it's amazing. How they say black don't crack. You can't hold black back at all. I mean, even our ancestors, wronged the Most High, right? And then put us in fetters, put us in slavery because of the curses, because of what our ancestors did. The curses came upon us, right? Slavery. But there was some gems all throughout that time in which we prospered. We prospered a lot, family. And I am going to each and every week bring out a moment in Black history because we need it. We, especially nowadays, seeing us what's going on this earth, we need it to boost our morale, to keep things in remembrance. Because what did it say? It says, if you don't know your past, how can you know your future? How can you know where you're going to? We are building a kingdom. We are building a kingdom, and we are waking up. As that man says, we are waking up. As they say, as the Most High said in Ezekiel, can these old bones live? Can these dry bones live? They're living. We're coming back. We are back, as a good man says. We are back, family. Now, I do have a few more things I want to discuss with you this evening. But I do want to give a quick pause. How was y'all's weekend, man? Like, today is Tuesday. How was y'all's weekend? I had another fantabulous weekend. The weekend prior to this weekend, we had a mass baptism. And then this past weekend, we had another baptism. Wasn't nowhere near as enormous as it was in that grand area. But nonetheless, there were a few more souls that gave their life to the Most High through Christ. Beautiful. Choir was singing. We had a diminished choir this time, but we still was out there chirping. I know I was out there. Me and my good partner, my wife, she was out there as well. We was out there chirping, singing for the Most High, bringing the souls into the water. All praise to the Most High. So that's how my weekend was, family. Outside of this crazy heat. Have y'all seen what's going on over there in Europe? Europe is getting. The media say Europe is getting baked. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but when the news says getting baked, it's bad. It's very, very bad. And over there in Europe, in certain places, they don't have AC. They have AC in places like hotels. If you get a hotel room, they'll have AC. But regular houses, they got fans. Can you imagine sweltering heat, 100+ degrees? I can imagine that. Anyway, family, move along to my next article. My next article, family, just what would you do in this situation? And I titled this one because about this guy, Pastor Tony Spell, family. Pastor Tony Spell. And I brought this up because my wife sent this article to me. And I was like, yeah, I don't blame him, but I don't condone that either. Pastor Tony Spell in Louisiana in June got into a heated confrontation with a 20-year-old neighbor across the street from his church. So let me set this up. You have Pastor Tony Spell, right? An Edomite, a Gentile. He was at his church, and he said that he was working on putting some batteries in some buses, right? Or in a bus. And he said that this 20-year-old, the neighbor of the church, was yelling all kind of stuff at him, right? And the church that Pastor Tony Spells is the head of is called Life Tabernacle Church in Louisiana. Not sure what part, but you can look this up. Now, the individual across the street family told the pastor that he was, now this is, it gets kind of graphic verbally, but I'll keep it kosher. I'll keep it 100, right? The individual across the street of the church told the pastor Tony Spell that he was going to violate his wife and children, read between the lines, and his children, and that the next time that Pastor Spell went out of town, that he was going to unalive them. Now, how would you feel? Like Dre said, how would you feel if some brother wanted you killed? You probably moved to a new house on a new hill. But how would you feel if somebody said that to you as a man? Shalom, how you doing? Yeah, we're trying to keep strong. Like Dr. C, you come in. But how would you feel if a man was yelling at obscenities to you about your family? If somebody yelled obscenities to me about my family, yeah, it's going to piss me off royally. So what Mr. Tony Spell did, he crossed that street and opened a can of wood butt. He opened a can of whip butt on this man. 2 Edomites, 2 Gentiles. And pastor commenced to whipping him with his hands. Whipping him. But what can, now, I don't condone violence. But the Bible says there's a season for everything. And it's some things you just don't do. You do not violate a man, his family, nor his money. And he violated that man's family, him and his family. So I don't know what this man expected was going to happen to him, but you can look up Pastor Tony Spell and see what he did. Now the pastor, like I said, he crossed that street and he handled his business, right? Now again, I don't condone violence, family. However, a threat on your life or your loved ones is cause to take action. Like I just said, there's a season for everything, right? And that man found his season. So you can go ahead and see the video of the pastor. He tells you exactly what he did. At a pastor, he was arrested, right? You know, no good deed goes unpunished if that's a good deed, right? The pastor Spell, he was arrested and he was charged with 2nd-degree battery. However, the pastor was able to post bail for himself and he was released. But again, you can't just go around yelling all kind of obscenities to someone and think nothing is going to happen. Think you're punking somebody. You don't know what's going to happen, how they'll react. You don't know if a person has a knife, has a gun. You don't know. You don't know if those hands are weapons. You just don't know. Hold your mouth. Hold your peace. Don't say nothing. He should just love his neighbor. I mean, he knew he was a pastor. He knew the pastor was at his church and he was just yelling obscenities and didn't really gonna talk about what he gonna do to his wife and children. Hey, I can't say I would not have done the same thing. I can't say that. All I can say is I hope the Most High has remorse. That's all I can say. I hope the Most High pities his soul. The man's soul who was talking all the obscenities. Because if this is a true pastor, although he came out of his sorts, he's still human. I'm pretty sure he repented for that action. Right? So, just because a person is a pastor doesn't mean they ain't gonna do nothing to you. Let that have been, let's say Malcolm X. Malcolm X would just turn the other cheek, as we know. Not Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, who would turn the other cheek. Malcolm X would have did the same thing as his pastor, most likely, by any means necessary. He ain't gonna let nobody beat him up or verbally. He can go after that person, especially if it's talking about his children or his wife. That's just what I'm thinking. I could be totally wrong, but based off history, that just makes sense to me. Now, let us move along, family, and let's just talk about hygiene, right? Let's talk about putting some good lotion on your body, some good smell good on your body, some good oil and beard cream on your face, on your hair, you know what I mean? Naturally Glam Skincare and Cosmetics is where it's at. Here, you can get your everyday deodorant, your lotions for men and women, your skin creams for men and women. You can even get deodorant for men and women. You can also retrieve some CMOS juice and gel. So check out Naturally Glam Skincare and Cosmetics. Fam, listen, I've been bigging this up so much. This is my wife's baby. She does this. All natural ingredients, nothing harmful in them at all. And I really stand by this. I use this deodorant every single day. I do physical work. I sweat hard, and I check my arms every day after work. I don't smell nothing. I sweat profusely. I sweat. Even my sweat sweats, and nothing happens as far as a smell. So kudos to this young lady for doing what she had been doing and doing it in the name of the Most High. For the Most High, in the name of Christ, through the Holy Spirit, to help the body grow. Because you don't want to go out there using all these products like regular deodorants, like your Degrees and things like that, and they have aluminum. Aluminum is what causes cancers, bumps on our bodies, in our bodies. And I say in our bodies because it's doing nothing but being dissolved into your skin, into your pores. So Naturally Glam Skincare and Cosmetics. And ladies, you can also get Yoni Steams. They're the truth. I don't use them because they're for women. The Yoni Steams, of course. But go ahead and check that out, family, so we can keep the dollar in our community, family. All right. Now, with that said, I have another article, a couple more articles here to share with you, family. But before I go there, let me just back up and just go through what I have talked about. I did mention my saying of the day, family, which is basically sit and be patient, wait on the Most High. Sit and be patient. That's what's up, Rich. Hey, family, look, Rich has put in the chat. He's gonna order some more soon. He just put in the order. He just got that. I believe it was last week. He said he's gonna put another order in. Ask him how the products are. Ask him. He would tell you, right? I talked about my first article or topic. Former Mrs. Khadija Farrakhan, the former First Lady of the Nation of Islam, who passed last week, the wife of Mr. Louis Farrakhan. She was 90 years old when she left this earth. Carlene Nowruz, who opened up two schools, one called Carlene Home Health School Incorporated in Plantation, Florida. The other was called Carlene Home Health School, the second incorporated in West Palm Beach, Florida. These were both nursing schools in which she sold fake credentials, fake diplomas, and fake transcripts, in which people can go and buy those things from anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000, and with that, they will give them, they will be able to go and take the nurse exam and get their nurse's license if they passed it. 2,300 people passed with those fake credentials, right? I also spoke about the new 10-episode pilot that is coming this November. The Jeffersons, yes, they are back, potentially, allegedly, this November, with Mr. Anthony Anderson playing George and Miss Regina King playing Wheezy, right? also spoke of a moment in Black history in which in the 1820s, a Mr. Thomas L. Jennings had a patent that was called dry scouring, which we call today dry cleaning. He became a multimillionaire and eventually put all his millions into freeing his wife and children from slavery because he was born free. He was not a slave, but he had so many millions that he bought his wife and children from slavery, and he also put the rest of his millions into the abolitionist movement and the Underground Railroad. Also just finished speaking of Mr. Tony Spell, in which he got into an altercation in Louisiana. And Mr. Tony Spell is the head of a church in Louisiana called Life Tabernacle Church, in which a gentleman across the street from his church was yelling obscenities about his family and some things he would do to them. He didn't take it to light, the pastor didn't, and opened up a can of whoop butt. Right? You can look that up. Now, I also spoke about Naturally Glam. Now, moving along, family, to another article that I have. And this article is about a man named Gary Harrington. Okay? Gary Harrington. Now, Mr. Harrington, if you never heard of him, he's an Oregon man, right? And he was just basically living on his property and he was collecting rainwater. And apparently, Oregon did not like how Mr. Gary Harrington collected rainwater. So what Mr. Harrington did, he built several huge, I believe it was 100, he built these huge water reservoirs, right? And put them on his property to collect rainwater. He collected so much rainwater, allegedly, family, that the state of Oregon basically told this man he couldn't collect rainwater. He collected so much. Let me go ahead and read it here. He actually collected the rainwater on his own property, and he built 3 large reservoirs that allegedly held millions of gallons of H2O. Now, you can actually look this up. Gary Harrington. Those buckets he had were not no ordinary buckets. They were huge. You could fit about, if you've seen me, you can probably fit about 5 of me into those buckets. Barrels, I should say. And if someone's doing something on their own property, why, and it's legal, why is the government getting involved? Well, I thought that rain was free from God, from the Most High. I thought it was. I thought it was free, but apparently man thinks differently. Oregon, the state of Oregon argued that he was Mr. Gary Harrington. They argued that he was illegally diverting water to a watershed without the required permits. There's always a permit. There's always something, right? They're going to find. And had ignored court orders for years, allegedly. After a lengthy legal dispute, Harrington was sentenced to 30 days in jail and fined $1,500 in fines. So they found a way to get someone for collecting free God-given rainwater. I mean, family, you can't. What else is there? So check this out. Jogs my memory. Stock up on water. Really, really stock up on water. Bill Gates said water is the next hottest commodity after gold. Mr. Bill Gates allegedly is buying up all the water reserves that there are. Him and allegedly another company, maybe it's BlackRock. Stock up on your water. Stock up on as much as you can. Stock up on as much as you can because, listen, as I always say, Samuel is smarter than Daniel, the Bible says. And that is who these people, such as the Bill Gateses and others, allegedly worship, allegedly pledge their allegiance to. Stock up on it. I even seen powdered water. How do you gonna have some powdered water? Anything powdered, don't you put water with it to make it? They need to stop the shenanigans. Who's gonna buy powdered water? I don't even know who gonna do it. My Lord have mercy. You can't make this up, family. So Mr. Gary Harrington was just basically trying to preserve his home, preserve his garden, preserve his loved ones with free rainwater. Apparently it's not free in Oregon. You can't collect that much water and not pay the penalty. So he had to go to jail for 30 days and pay $1,500 in fines. They're going to find a way to get over on people somehow, some way. Somehow, some way. I mean, you can't win. You can't win. How can we win? I was thinking, family, when things hit the fan, for those of you who are Bible readers, when things hit the fan, it's time for us to run, right? Time for us to skedaddle. Where we're going to run to? I was thinking, hide in the trees, but you got drones. Hide in old abandoned buildings, but now they have those machines that can see your heat through a wall. Hiding underground, maybe not. Making my own bunker, maybe not. But it costs money to make your own bunker. Can't just go and dig a hole nowadays. Got to call it a city because you might hit some pipes in your own yard before you can do anything. Before you can put a pool in your own yard, got to call the city. They got to know Esau must know everything that's going on. So how can you win? I'll tell you how you can win. Stay prayed up. Obey the Most High. Obey those statutes and commandments. Right? I was about to go down a rabbit hole with the 613 laws that there are. But if you study those laws, all those laws don't pertain to everyone as a whole. They're broken down to some people, some priests, and other people. That's how the laws are broken down. Obey those 10 commandments, right? But Esau, the government is just going to overwhelm us no matter what we try to do. So all we can do is stay prayed up, fast and pray, love the Most High with our whole heart, mind, body, soul, and spirit, and love your neighbor. That's how we get through. And just try to be a good person. We're all going to stumble, repent every single day. And as Paul says, I die daily. We change daily. Right? That's what we have to do. Look at what Paul did. The man did a 180, like overnight. Once he had his Damascus moment. He did. If he can do it, we all can do it. And he was that boy back then. For real. So I just wanted to put that out there, family. I do have an FYI for you, family. For those of you who want to get rid of your gut, our gut is what carries a lot of worms, right? Our bellies carry a lot of worms, right? So when you do these detoxes and you go and poop, a lot of times you can see those worms come out. So yeah, powder water. So if you want to do a natural detox, I just want to share this with you. Because I did buy some pills called the 15-day gut cleanse. They do work. Oh, they do work, right? I haven't used it in a while. But if you don't want to spend any money, you can do this. And you probably already know this, but I just want to put this out there. Take you some cinnamon, some water. Make sure it's not rainwater. Make sure you're not in Oregon. Take you some cinnamon, some water, some apple cider vinegar, some honey and some lemon. Put that all together. Stir it up real good. Boil it up, right? And after you boil it up, you want to strain that. Once you strain it, you can drink it. And you want to do that every night before bed. And if you got a little gut, if you got a pudge, men and women, drink that every night before bed. It will clean you out and you will see your stomach go down. But what it does, it gets rid of those worms and parasites in your body. And that's just one cleanse, right? But that's one way that will help you save money, and it's all natural. It's usually things that you have in your cupboard. So I'll say that again. Some cinnamon, some water, apple cider vinegar, honey and lemon. Mix all that up, let it come to a boil, strain it, and then you drink it. You drink a cup a night. and you'll start to see your belly go down. And I did. I used to have when I did a commercial called "Belly Be Gone." It was a very funny commercial when I was in Ohio Media School. We had some commercials to do, um, and so I might let you all hear that one day. It's very hilarious. Called "Belly Be Gone," right? And also, family, yes, cinnamon, water, apple cider vinegar, honey, and lemon. Yes, ma'am. Boil all that together, strain it first, and then you drink it. Drink it on down. Drink a cup a night before you go to bed, and that will help. And I'm pretty sure it'll help with more than just that, right? Probably help with lungs as well, inflammation of the lungs or um, phlegm of the lungs. Uh, Also, family, when you're cutting, when you cut onions and you start to cry, try this. I just found this out today. When you cut an onion, so as not to cry, you want to, you got the root on one end, you got the top on the other end. You want to cut the top off, leave that root, well, where the hairs at and all that, little hairs, leave that part. And just start cutting everything else. Leave that hairy part, that root part. Once you leave that part, see, if you cut that part, that's why the fumes come out. That's when you start to cry. Or if you do cut that part, you want to put it under some water. But if you don't put it underwater, you just want to cut it on the surface. Don't cut off the root of the onion. If you don't cut the root off, there's no reason to cry because those fumes won't come out. You'll be A-OK. Shalom, family. You'll be A-OK. Right? So when you cut an onion, just cut off the top of it. Keep that butt part where the root is at. Don't cut that. I used to cut that off too. Cut around that. Keep that on there. You know what I'm saying? Dice up. And there won't be no fumes. And if the fumes don't come out, then you won't be crying. Or you can take the whole onion itself, cut it all up how you want to, but cut it underwater. And there you go. That will help alleviate you from crying and being like the Tin Man talking about tee 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 because you didn't cut up an onion and I didn't get out in your eyes because you think you smart. Or because you think you want to cook. And you probably can't even cook like that. I'm just saying. But anyway, family. Hey, those are the topics that I did have for tonight. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And again, it's always a pleasure to speak with you all. Oh, exhaust fan. Well, it makes sense. You got his exhaust fan blowing right there. I mean, if the fumes won't come to your nostrils and your eyes, that makes sense too. Hey, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. She Brew 7424. I know who you are. So check this out. I do have a few jokes this evening. And no, this is your most lovely part of the night. Oh man, so I got a few jokes, family. Right? And yes, they're always dad jokes. So forgive me if they're corny. So what? Oh yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure. Landabar. My pleasure. About the tea. My pleasure. Now, I don't know if anyone you have heard some of these corny jokes, but I'm going to say them anyway. What goes 99 thump, 99 thump, 99 thump? I just told this to a sister this past Shabbat. What goes 99 thump, 99 thump, 99 thump, 99 thump, 99 thump, 99 thump? What goes 99 thump, 99 thump, 99 thump? I bet none of y'all can figure that out. But I'll tell you anyway. What goes 99 thump, 99 thump, 99 thump is a centipede with a wooden leg. Centipede's got 100 legs and 99 thump, 99 thump, 99, 100 leg, get that leg on it. Anyway. So check this out. Why didn't anyone, right? We all think kings are royalty and whatnot. We treat them as such. But why didn't anyone say anything when the king farted? It's because he's the king and they didn't want their head to get chopped off? Are they just scared of him? Why didn't anyone say anything when the king farted? Not LeBron James either. But why didn't anyone say anything when the king farted? Well, the reason no one said anything when the king farted is because it was a noble gas. Get it? King farted. He's a king. He's noble. King's a noble. Noble gas. Oh, man. I cracked me up. At least somebody's laughing. I'm laughing. One last joke, fam. We got one last joke. And check this out. It's not too ridiculous, right? You got two old women. They out there chilling. They're out there chilling, sitting down on a bench. They out there waiting on the bus to come. They're sitting out there waiting. You know how people get on the bus when they wait on the bus. They're looking that direction. Why do people do that? Looking in the direction of the bus, like it's gonna make the bus come even faster. You know, they sitting there chilling. Two old women sitting there chilling, chit-chatting, looking at the bus, looking for the bus, waiting on the bus, looking that direction, like the bus gonna come even faster. And one old lady says to the other, "You know, I've been sitting here so long, my butt fell asleep." The other lady said, "Yeah, I know, because I heard it snoring." Oh my gosh, that's funny. Listen, you can't tell me that ain't funny. If it ain't funny, you ain't funny. You need to laugh at something, you know. But anyway, family, hey, man, those are the jokes I do have for this evening, this morning, this afternoon, when you can hear my beautiful and wonderful voice and sit and look at my beautiful mug. Hey, but check this out. I've been telling my wife, I've had my locks now for about 13 to 14 years. I think it might be time to go, family. I think I might be giving it the old chop soon. So the next time you see me, real soon, one day, my hair might be gone, you know. My hair might be gone. So I'm just I guess it's just time for a change. Because as the old saying goes, the only thing that remains constant in this universe is change. Those who can accept it persevere, and those who cannot merely fade away. And the Most High still has me here. I've not faded away. You said don't cuddle? Hey, my buddy's been doing it all around me. I'm not sure, man. It make me feel some type of way. We'll see. We'll see. I might just trim it up first. Have my wife cut some down first. You know, we'll see. But anyway, family, it's been a pleasure this evening to bring some news to you. Some news you can use or maybe not. But I hope some things were helpful. But I do want to tell you, as I always do, love yourself. Love the Most High first. Love yourself. Love your spouse. Love your family. Love your neighbor. Stay prayed up. Put on the whole armor of the Most High and fast. Yeah. You're right, Rich. I've been looking at your hair, man. I gotta cut mine. You're weighing on me, cuz. You're weighing on me. But hey, family, listen. Stay prayed up. I love you all. And until next time, I love you all. Shalom. Shalom. Deuces. Peace. And a bottle of hair grease. I can't wait to see you all on the next time. On the next Gin on Current Affairs. May the Most High bless you all. Shalom.
Vigilant watchman, never snoring off the grind. Eyes on the news, peeping all the signs. They sling lies, we bringing clarity. Breaking down the script, straight sincerity. Headlines shifty, gotta stay woke. Truth in every word, not just a hefty joke. Current affairs, tune in, y'all listen close. Aharon Yasharahla hit you with the most.
No fluff, just facts, we dissecting the scene. Radio wave, sharp, cut and clean. Modern day prophets, echoes of the past. The see through the smoke, these lies won't last. Real talk, mountains from the molehills. Truth reigns supreme.